you know, it's really hard for that to truly be, that's really hard for you to be able to achieve if you don't cast with them all the time. And obviously I'm not expecting to be like, oh right, so I'm just gonna sorry, we're having some issues with XSplit again. I can't tell if it's fixed or not. So obviously, obviously I'm not expecting to be able to just suddenly start casting with someone and boom, will be perfect. But the problem is, like, it's finding someone who has a hell of a lot of time to cast multiple hours a day. I mean, today we're casting for at least 8 hours. I don't want to just be kind of swapping someone in and out all the time, so it's just kind of, because it's I guess it's a combination of that, and just because it's a personal project as well, I kind of just like enjoy doing it all myself, which is a little bit selfish. I know people prefer seeing games co-casted instead of solo casted, but I think I reserve the right to be selfish at some points, and that is pretty much the only thing I've ever really been super selfish on during IC2 Improve, I think. Not really getting a co-caster too much. So I hope that answers your question. In the bottom right hand corner of the map, our pink Zerg player from mYinsanity, Zervas. And in the bottom left hand corner of the map from MiA, CheeseKing. For the Team League, the Division 1 players will never meet the Division 2 players, right? Nope. Not in the regular season. In qualifiers, perhaps, when teams drop down from Division 1 and play against the Division 2 teams who may be on their way up. But no, in a regular season, they won't ever play against each other. 2 separate tournaments, and that's why teams are... Well, I mean, teams are more than welcome to have more than one team in the same division if they qualify, of course. But that's why generally a lot of teams also enter a second team and play in the second division as well. Because there's still some good money up for grabs in the second division. €350. We're going to be casting all of the second division playoff games in the coming weeks when the playoffs do begin. Going to be very exciting. I'm very excited because Team SC2 Improved, my team, actually made it to the playoffs, which was incredible. They actually had 3 very hard opponents in their group, beat all of them, and managed to make it there. We had a gold base here to start things off for Zervas, and he's able to go for kind of a gasless 3-hatch before pool because of the forge opening once again from CheeseKing, which he scouts with his Overlord. Now, CheeseKing doesn't know about this gold base just yet. It's going to be really interesting because, I mean, we're literally seeing the base of the Zerg player in the same screen as the base of the pros. I mean, if we really try and sneak the Nexus in, okay, if there wasn't a mini-map, you can kind of see them right over here and right up there. Both the bases are on the same screen. Yes, we're zoomed out, but still, that means they're pretty darn close to each other. It's going to be really interesting to see how this goes, because, I mean, Zervas is going to be really sort of... This is like... Yeah, I mean, if any sort of push comes from CheeseKing, Zervas is going to have to be on top of it. Because if he isn't, he's going to lose his gold base almost immediately. Now, of course, as we always say, you know, this gold base isn't kind of as risky as it seems, because you can cut drones a lot earlier on a gold base because you have that extra income. And if you check the income already, as CheeseKing actually spots this gold base, you'll see it's already a little bit ahead for Zervas, despite only being on 29 workers to the 32. So he can cut drones a little earlier, and which means he needs less drones to kind of pull off a similar defense as to on normal maps, which means that this forward location could definitely pay off for him. And if the game does go longer, mining this base out earlier is going to be fantastic, because, you know, as the game goes on, this is a base that CheeseKing would probably like to take because it's a very easy base to push forwards from. So it's a base that, as a pros player, you'd like to kind of sit there and see what you can do with it later in the game. But obviously it's going to be mined out later in the game if that now is going to be, if the game does go on, because of the way Zervas is opened here. So a couple of Stargates coming down in the natural, and that's going to be the choice of tech from CheeseKing. As a Zergling running up this ramp, it's on the wrong side to really see the Stargates. It's going to go over to the left. To the other side, we didn't quite make it right to the corner, so I'm not sure if he would actually see the Stargates, but yeah, it's kind of interesting. 2 Stargates. We'll see what comes out of it here from CheeseKing, whether he goes double Phoenix to really just bust up the Phoenix count fast, or whether he just goes straight into Void Rays. And there it is, Void Ray number 1, and I assume Void Ray number 2 starting up in the production tab here and being chrono boosted out. Stalker going to start chasing down this Overlord, and Ricochet Core popping out of this Nexus as well. as this Overlord being chased away. And will not just go down. Wow. So that just stays alive here. A couple of queens already at the front. For Zervas going to start turning around this mothership forward. CheeseKing has to be very careful with how far forward he moves with that. He's taking a lot of damage on it because of this creep. And so the creep will be pushed forward a little bit further here. CheeseKing, is he trying to take a third base? I think he is. So this is kind of crazy. We're actually seeing these guys continue to expand despite their bases. Like this case kind of like steps of war right now. The distances between these bases as the third base comes up, and I mean, CheeseKing's clearly not going to try and punish the early gold. He's just going to try and be greedy himself, take his own gold. I mean, not even greedy. I mean, 8.5 minutes is actually arguably quite late for a third base of the Zerg player, of the Protoss player even. Some queens moving over here. They need to be careful. I don't think he really realizes what's about to come in and hit him, and it is going to be those two Void Rays coming forward. So he's going to go for the queen with the transfuse first of all. He's going to look to take this down as the queen's trying to retreat onto the creep here. Zervas doesn't really have anything right now. He's got another queen, but he doesn't have any spore crawlers or anything, so he really needs to just sit back here and try and save the day with just the queens. But I'm not sure. He doesn't have any transfuses, and another queen comes in because again, I'm not really too sure if he realizes that this is kind of double Stargate. So the Roach has actually been chased away by the Void Rays now as well, as they're going to try and come in and cancel the third base. But I think two Void Rays will clean up these Roaches very quickly, as these two Void Rays are going to chase down another queen and pulling one of them back here. It actually stops, and he will get taken down. One more hit, and now one Void Ray against 3 queens, so this is going to start falling. The Roaches over here are still around, but continually being reinforced. Can these Void Rays clean them out in time? I'm not too sure if they can anymore. I mean, there's some Zerglings here as well. The Roaches are falling quickly. Actually, there's only really the Zerglings left. The shields are gone, and actually Zervas is going to pull back away from this. And this is one hell of a wacky game right now. His Void Ray is going to be trying to take down an Overlord or so, and I mean, this is, is Zervas okay? He runs by with a lot of Zerglings, and this is actually the kind of problem for the Protoss player right now. He doesn't really have anything to deal with, just Zerglings. And the Zerglings are going to start wrapping around this Nexus. The Void Ray shouldn't be able to save this, so our Protoss player is going to be set back to 2 bases, and our Zerg has got a gold still, so in the Zerg economy, let's just press escape here quickly, if I actually press the right buttons. And now it's all disappeared, there we go. You can see the Zerg's economy is insane. 1.8k minerals against 1.5k, so the income here for the Zerg is pretty sick, as CheeseKing going to try and re-establish his own third base. But, I mean, now that time's gone on, now he's really realised what he's up against. He's able to start getting Hydras out as well, so Zervas is actually going to start manoeuvre himself into a much better position than he was in originally here. And he is going to start kind of evening this out a bit, I think. This is actually really crazy. As Zerglin comes in, gets taken out by these Void Rays. Creep spread continuing to push forwards, and I mean, it's going to continue pressing forwards here. But we actually have a bunch of queens moving forwards as well. What they're going to try and do, they're going to go against the Void Rays, and the Void Rays, well, with Hydras behind these queens, I'm not sure if they're really going to be able to hold on to this third base. A mothership's on the way, which would be interesting to see if that actually came into play, but I mean, for now, this third base is just going to fall, and Zervas, he builds up energy on these queens. He's going to build up a lot of transfusers to use, and Overseer gets taken down over here. I don't know whether he actually saw that mothership coming in. He might have seen the fleet beacon, which will give him a pretty good idea about things. Where's that fleet beacon? No, he didn't. So he didn't see the fleet beacon, and without seeing that, Zervas, I mean, he puts down an infestation pit, puts down a spire. He's clearly going to be aiming for kind of a corrupt Viper composition as the game goes on. The corrupt is going to be useful just to fight against our units, of course, and Viper is going to be useful to pull a couple of units in at a time into the corruptor cloud. But the mothership is something which really might catch Zervas off guard. If he can target down, if CheeseKing can target down the Overseers nice and quickly, he might be able to kill off a lot of this army and eventually actually secure a third base. This is a hell of a wacky game right now. This is not your usual game. Mothership is here, but the Void Rays are going down before the mothership reaches it. He needs to get the Overseers. But they're still too close. They're in the back of the army, so the Void Rays can't really go over and kill them, because if they do, they're going to get killed off by Hydras. And you can see here, these Hydras are just going to fight up against these Void Rays, and this is just not quite going to work out in reality here for CheeseKing. It looks as though he might very well be going down here to Zervas, who's continuing to target down the Voids. Another one pops out. A couple of them very low on hit points. A lot of them already going down. A lot of the Hydras are going down as well, but the Queens are the real issue. There's so many of them left, and they, on their own, will do a pretty decent job still against these Void Rays. As one Void Ray apparently wants to test its luck pushing forwards here. The creep from that gold base helps out so much. It's actually now blocking the third base of the Protoss player, who's now going to take the third base at the 9 o'clock position instead. But that's going to be even harder to defend. It looks as though Zervas is already starting to realize that this might be a possibility. As the Scantipede stops us from getting the vision. But there we go, we see it now. And he's just going to converge onto this base and take it down very, very swiftly. And CheeseKing is running out of options right now. He actually has +2 air attacks, would you believe it? And he's moving forwards with these Void Rays, but he's just never been able to really reach the critical mass. He lost a couple early on, and I mean, Zervas figured it out very quickly. He started preparing for it pretty much perfectly early with a lot of queens. The Hydra's coming in, and that base gets cancelled again here, and well, behind all of this, he's going into that hive, so once the Vipers come into play, there's going to be no more running for these Void Rays, for this mothership. No, they're not going to be running away from anything anymore, as he will make it back to his base for now, but again, it's not going to be for much longer. Zervas just going to patrol around the map with all of his Zerglings. I mean, at this point, there's nothing that he can really lose to unless there's a hidden base out for CheeseKing. So he's just going to make sure that's not a possibility. Taking a 4th base behind this for himself. Creeping up the island base as well. Just to make sure he doesn't have to make any mutas or anything to try and take that down should one become available. Well, it looks as though CheeseKing is at least going to try and win the hearts of the viewers. He is making carriers, guys. Do you believe in the carriers? It's time to find out here as these Hydras come in. They're going to try and clean up whatever they can. A lot of cannons here. And the first carriers are about to hit the game. CheeseKing, he's only on 2 bases, but 2 Stargates are still not enough for him. He's adding 2 more, even though he doesn't really have the gas for it. I guess he kind of might if he's making carriers because of the long build time. But I mean, he's going to be mining out. So I mean, his gas is okay, but his minerals will be mining out. So he's got a lot of minerals stacked up. Going back to what we were talking about right at the start of the game, at the in the lobby. How was that barbecue? Zervas said he liked it, man. He was taunting us, man. He said he had a really good steak, and CheeseKing, seeing the comedic value in this position right now in this game. I wonder if he literally just tries to sit here and mass carrier with Zealots. I mean, he just saw the Forge. Did he lose the Forge or something? Okay, he must have lost the Forge at the front, actually. Okay, I didn't really pay attention to that. So he lost the Forge. He is literally sitting on carrier Void Ray cannon right now. As he comes in, and there's the abduct onto the carrier and onto a mothership, and they go down. And I mean, Zervas is not going to play CheeseKing's game. He's just going to kill him off here. Everything, surely soon, is going to start going down. There's an abduct. A Void Ray falls. The cannons are doing a little bit here and there. And as the Viper's going to consume a little bit, get some energy back on this poor Spinecrawler, man. Does it count as cannibalism if Vipers kill, like, because I mean it's kind of weird, right? They're consuming it. Is it cannibalism? Because they're not eating other Vipers, but they're still eating the Zerg race, and like obviously everything of the Zerg has evolved from something else. I guess not. I guess it is. It's pretty fucked up, man. Killing your own Spinecrawler just to get some energy. It's not cool. Is this toss serious? Says SC2 to fight in the chat. I don't think CheeseKing will win, says Winter. Wait for the carriers. Oh dear, it's gonna work. There's Max Capane. There's having a bit of camera issues there. And well, we're actually going to see Blind Clouds come down to take some of the cannons out of the equation and ducked on 1, 2 carriers, and they'll go down very quickly as well. I mean, if he just trades like this, there's no real way that CheeseKing can realistically win this game. I mean, there's no real way he could realistically win it anyway. I mean, maybe if Zervas move commanded onto the cannons, and I mean, because he doesn't actually have enough army to reproduce, but enough money to reproduce. But I mean, if he just trades like this, he's going to be in no problem at all. This is kind of, I mean, it's a completely stupid game, but are we actually going to see this? Are we actually going to see the Protoss player just go cannon? Overlord over here gets taken down, and you know what? Zervas actually has to go deal with this. I mean, he might lose a base if he doesn't. His gold base in the center is mined out, guys, apart from 93 minerals which remain in the center. It's not going to take that drone too many more trips to clean that up. As the Tempest comes in, kills off the Overlord. And the carriers and the Void Rays is going to attack the natural base of the Zerg, who Actually, is only sending some Tempest, some Corruptors back to deal with this. The Hydras are actually on the way back now as well. And, well, this is a little bit weird. The Vipers are going to make this composition look like a joke, says Fano 1451. Yeah, you could say that, couldn't you? As, well, here we go. Abducting into the Corruptors. I mean, the Hydras aren't here, and it's maybe a fight that CheeseKing could begin to win. But in the long run, he's not going to stand a chance. This Mothership core looking a bit feeble after we've had a Mothership on the map, all the way down to 1 hit point. It just got away. The corruption will wear off of that. And I mean, as a player's got a base to the 3 o'clock, he's actually starting to push up at the front. Oh no, the probes are trying to long distance mine. That's not going to end well. Ah, these probes are actually going to make it over there. Are they going to make it back? Are they really going to return the minerals? Da, 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 da. The probes. They've been sent on one journey. And they're coming back now. Oh no, no. Ah, these poor probes, the ones in the back, they had no idea what they were facing. This one probe is going off again. Look at the cannons. We have so many cannons here. These Tempests are slowly but surely picking away at some Hydras. The Corruptors are coming forwards now. Here come the Abducts. The Tempests get brought into the Hydras army. The Corruptors helping out as well. The Vipers. There's a couple left apparently here or there somewhere. I can't really see them in amongst all the Overseers and everything else. And again, so much lost here for CheeseKing. He's down on 37 supply with 3 Void Rays, 3 Tempests left in the sky. He will move forward with this and see if he can get anything else done, but I think at this point it might very well be over. The last Void Rays are going to go down. The Tempests are trying to retreat. The Vipers are quickly coming in pursuit. Everything will go, and that should be GG from CheeseKing. What does he have left in supply? GG well played. Just 12 probes remaining as he taps out of the game, and mYinsanity retake the lead in this series, which was originally a 2-0 lead. Now it's just a 3-2 lead.